Okay, so I am getting down to the last of it here. I don't know if you can see. But what I'm doing is I'm waiting until the sap level in the evaporator pan is about a half an inch deep. That's about as comfortable as I feel as far as letting it go in the sap pan. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the pan off onto the sawhorses because there's just no way to actually instantly stop the heat when it's wood burning, and I don't want it to cook down too far and ruin the syrup. So like I said, I cook it down and measure it, and once it's about a half inch deep, then I pull it out, slide it off, and then put it in some pots, and then I'll put it in the freezer until I know season's totally over, and then I'll thaw those out and go through the finishing process. So they're getting close here. So I might make a fool of myself trying to pull this off. I typically do, but there's usually nobody around to watch. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, we're actually just below a half inch in depth now. I'm going to let it cook just a little bit longer here, and we'll slide it off. So what I have left in the pan here is about the equivalent of 82 gallons of sap. Boiling it down to a half inch in depth. That's probably going to get coming out to 2 to 3 gallons, I think, of concentrate. Could be wrong on that calculation. But yeah, then it'll be ready for me to temporarily freeze and then take in the house when I'm ready to finish everything. Yeah, we're well under a half inch now, so I'm gonna pull it off. Alright, that'll stop it from continuing to boil. There's still a decent fire going on in there, but now I can run it through a filter when I'm getting it out of the pan here, and won't have to worry about getting so low that it starts scorching everything. Wish there was a better way to do this, but I guess that's how it goes when you're working with wood as opposed to burning propane. Alright. Okay, so the next step is open up this valve and run it into a pot through a filter so I can get some of that. I mean, this is how it goes when it's that low. It's a bit frustrating. Where that valve is, it's obviously higher up than the bottom of the pan, so you're going to have all kinds of sap just sitting in there. So what I end up having to do is tip the pan. It's a hassle because I have the float box on the other side. So let me tip this pan a little bit, see if I can get that to come out at a faster pace. This is filtering out a lot of the sugar sand that's been produced by the boil. I'm going to get it again when I reboil on the stove, but this is a lot less existing sugar sand that I'll be putting in when I'm boiling it down on the stove that I'll have to filter out. I like to get rid of as much of it as possible before I put it on the stove. So let me tip this pan. Hopefully I'm not blocking the camera. can see the filter. Look at all that. There's a lot of syrup in there mixed with an incredible amount of sugar sand and other potential impurities. But yeah, I let it drain into the pot. And this is about the equivalent of, I said, 82 gallons of sap boiled down into this single pot here. Which is nice because I'll be able to just take this in, boil it. I suspect that I'll get maybe a little over a gallon, maybe a gallon and a half out of this, if that even. I know typically sugar maples are 50 to 1, but one thing I've noticed here down in North Carolina, at least based on what I end up getting, it seems to be less than that, probably closer to 60 to 1. But like I said, I'm not ready to actually finish yet. I'm going to put this pot in the freezer and freeze this until I'm ready, so that I can do everything all at once. But what I'll probably do is swap this filter, pour what's in there into a new filter, because as you can see, it's running very slow. Oh, that sugar sand is clogging up that filter like crazy. And that's one of the things that I hate about the finishing process. You're trying to bottle it while it's super hot, but you got the sap sitting there, or at that point it's the syrup in these filters, and it's clogged, so it's barely coming out. Then you're losing precious time with that syrup being hot for the bottling process. I've seen several videos on making a do-it-yourself vacuum filter. I might actually try to see if I can whip one of those up before I do the finishing process, because really it's this filtering process that drives me bonkers. It wouldn't be so bad if these filters just didn't get clogged up like they do.